Lemon fusilli is a classic Barefoot Contessa recipe. Whenever we were running out of dinners in the store, I knew I could make huge quantities of it really fast. So it's fusilli, broccoli, and I'm gonna make a lemon cream sauce for it. Into the pot, boiling salted water. Just throw all the broccoli in. Just gonna cook it for about 3 minutes until it's crisp tender. Then we're gonna shock it in ice water to stop the cooking. And then later, it's just gonna heat up right in the pasta. We'll cook the pasta. Pound the fusilli, a little oil in the water, just so it doesn't stick. Salt. Okay, just stir it around, make sure they don't stick. I'm going to cook this for about 10 to 12 minutes until the pasta's al dente, which has a little bite, but it's completely cooked. Actually, fusilli's great for this because the sauce really sticks. Okay, broccoli's done. Turn it off, put it in ice water. How fast is that? The lemon fusilli, I'm going to make a really easy and very rich sauce. It's a lemon cream sauce. Tablespoon of olive oil. While that heats up, I'm just going to chop some garlic. What I'm going to do is I'm going to flavor the cream and then reduce it. And it's going to be like a white sauce. So, a tablespoon of chopped garlic. I'm going to cook the garlic in the olive oil for about a minute. Right into the pan. The next thing I need is 2 cups of cream. I'm just going to put the cream in and let it reduce over medium heat. I'm going to flavor it with lots of lemon. The zest of 2 lemons. So the lemon and the cream and the lemon juice are all going to cook together. And they're just going to become an incredibly flavorful sauce. Okay, that's the zest of 2 lemons. Right into the cream. And then the juice of 2 lemons. 2 teaspoons of salt. Remember, this is the sauce on the pasta, so it has to be really strongly flavored. 1 teaspoon of pepper. Just going to stir that around. So this is just going to simmer for about 10 to 12 minutes until it's reduced by half. And by then, the pasta should be done. Okay, the sauce looks like it's ready. See, it just starts to coat the spoon, just like a white sauce. It smells good, delicious, lemon and garlic. I'm gonna pour it right over the pasta and the broccoli. Okay, next is Parmesan cheese. Put on as much as you like, about a quarter, half a cup, something like that. Okay. Lots of cherry tomatoes. This is gorgeous. I'm going to toss it all together. So the sauce and the Parmesan get onto everything. That looks great. Okay, I have 2 more things. Just a few pieces of lemon tossed into it. It really just looks so much better. And the last thing is fresh arugula. I have some baby arugula that's just gorgeous. It's a big handful of arugula goes into it. Just toss it together, and the heat from the pasta is just going to wilt the arugula just enough. Nice platter for it. Onto the platter. Lots of cherry tomatoes. And I would say sprinkling the Parmesan cheese. A few pieces of lemon, and lunch is served. I'm on the hunt for fig leaves. So the dirty little secret of East Hampton is the season's really too short for the figs to develop. but I use fig leaves for all kinds of things. Platters, cheese trays. They're really great because they're flat and they're big and they're gorgeous. I just take them in, wash them off, dry them, and use them, and you can save them in the fridge. So the first thing I always do with a cheese platter is put down some green leaves. These are fig leaves from my garden, but if you don't have a fig tree in your garden, you can use hydrangea leaves, you can go to the florist and get galax leaves, whatever you have that's sort of big, green, and flat. Okay, the next thing I always do is I always put a big bunch of grapes right in the middle. It can be a couple of bunches of grapes, actually. The first time I did a cheese platter was like 40 years ago, and my friend Anna Pump was with me. And I don't know what it looked like, but it probably looked like a dog's breakfast. And she came over to me and she said, okay, now take everything off the platter. I was like, okay. And then she said, okay, now put the grapes in the middle, the cheese around the outside, and big blocks of crackers and apricots. And then she said, and stop. Those are two really good lessons, is to do it really simply and beautifully, and then stop. Okay, so we've got a big bunch of grapes in the middle, and then I'm going to put the cheeses on the outside, as Anna taught me. So I have different kinds of cheeses. I like soft ripening cheeses like brie, like this is one. I have a blue cheese. This is English Stilton, which I adore. And you want the rinds in and the cheese facing out. And this is incredible. This is pecorino with truffles. So it's an Italian cheese. It's just so flavorful. And the last one is goat cheese. So now I've got all different shapes and flavors. I've got creamy things, I've got crumbly things, I've got hard, sharp things. And the goat cheese, which is called fleur verte, is a very creamy goat cheese with herbs on the outside. So just put that right there. So now I've got extra space on the platter to put other things. And I love things that like go with cheese. So fresh strawberries are great. So I'm just gonna put a big bunch of fresh strawberries on. And just kind of paint it, just keep it really casual. So when I do a cheese platter, I always do it as a second course. So there's a main course, the cheese course, and dessert. And you want to do it not when you're making filet beef for dinner and like chocolate mousse for dessert, because people will go home holding their bellies going, oh, I'm never eating again. You don't want that. So I always do it when I have something light like fish or a stew, like a fish stew. And then I serve something like granita for dessert, because this is a pretty rich course. So that's strawberries. Then I'm going to do maybe some apricots in the middle. So big blocks of color. You don't want it to look like that original one that I did, which looked like a dog's breakfast. And then I always like other things that taste good with it. So a little fig jam is wonderful. Like the blue cheese and the fig jam is great together. So I'm just going to, really, it's all store-bought. Just put a little bowl in with fresh fig jam, a little knife, and everybody can help themselves. Sometimes people serve cheese as a first course, like before dinner. I just think people fill up on cheese. You want it to be like a treat after dinner. I love this. I love fig jam and Stilton together. Okay, now crackers. So I have different shaped crackers and different colors of crackers. So I have light crackers like these sticks. They're really delicious, just like that. Just put them right on. And then I have dark crackers that are like little crisp things. So I'm just gonna put them around. I don't even need room, which is exactly when it looks the best, when it's all like full and sumptuous. If you're gonna make a cheese platter for a lot of people, don't get more kinds of cheese, just get bigger pieces. Or cheese platter for a smaller group, the same thing. Smaller pieces of cheese. Okay, I think I'm gonna do one more thing. I like a little height on this brie, so what I'm gonna do is take a little piece of it and just put it right on top. So now it's got a little more height, kind of matches the other ones. And I've got one more thing. I've got a fig ball. This is dried figs. Let's see how this is gonna go on. And I'm gonna open the fig ball, and it's dried and wrapped in fig leaves. And just open the whole thing so people can help themselves. Maybe I'll cut it in half. That's a good idea. And you'll see all the figs inside. Oh, all these dried figs. That's really great. That doesn't look half bad, does it? Hang on a moment. Let me just show you that again. I mean, how easy was that? It's 5 minutes, it looks really impressive, and there's no cooking at all. That's what I call fun. I love all the big, bold flavors of the things from the farm. Of course, you can buy arugula at the grocery store. You need about 8 ounces for the salad. I actually love composed salads like this because you can really throw anything in that you like. I always go into the pantry and go, that would be good in this. That's how this salad came about. So the arugula, I just cut it in pieces. Half a cup of dried cranberries. Just toss them all in. And I've toasted some walnuts. It's about a half a cup of toasted walnuts. I toast them because when they're crisp, they really have that sort of walnut flavor. Just a big rough chop right on top. I'm gonna assemble all the pieces and then make a vinaigrette. Next, an apple. Granny Smith apple from my farm box. I'm just gonna peel it and chop it. Granny Smith apple's great because it's really tart, but if you have another apple, you can use really any apple you like. Just get a big chop. I don't like things too finely diced. I really want to just know they're there. Look how gorgeous that is. Okay, next is blue cheese. I'm going to use Roquefort because I love it. I need about 6 ounces of crumbled blue cheese. Roquefort is French sheep's milk cheese. So just give it a chop and then crumble it a little bit. What a great combination is it? Sweet and piquant and peppery. It's got everything going for it in this salad. So for the vinaigrette, I want a really fresh flavor. So because of the apples in the salad, I'm going to use apple cider vinegar. About 3 tablespoons. Okay, then I need 2½ teaspoons of Dijon mustard. I want this to have lots of flavor. 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. About a teaspoon of grated orange zest. And if you do it right into the bowl, you get all of the oils into the salad dressing. Okay, and then orange juice. Okay, I'm just gonna approximate. This is the kind of salad dressing you just want to taste and make sure it's right. Fantastic. Okay, lots of salt and pepper. The vinaigrette has to be really highly seasoned. Because remember, it's just going to coat the lettuce. Give it a whisk, and then 2/3 of a cup of olive oil. The mustard actually acts as an emulsifier, so if you pour it in really slowly, it'll emulsify the dressing. Okay, that should do it. Just taste it, make sure it's right. It's great. Really taste the maple syrup. You can taste the mustard and the apple and orange. Just pour it right over. Just enough to moisten it, but not soak it. Give it a big toss, and then I have one more thing to put in. Something salty and crunchy. A little bacon that I roasted at 400 degrees for about 20 minutes. That's the last thing I put in. When I'm testing recipes, this is usually just about the time that my assistant Barbara shows up. It's lunchtime. I think this is going to be really good. Just make sure it's good. Peppery arugula. Vinaigrette's really good. It's sort of sweet and tart. This is definitely one of my favorite salads. And I'm going to make chocolate pecan scones. Nothing boring about that. One more, 4 cups. So just scoop it and level it off. Okay, a little bit of sugar, 2 tablespoons. Not too sweet, just a little. 2 tablespoons of baking powder, which is why they're so light and flaky. 4 teaspoons of salt. Okay, so I'm just gonna mix this together. And now I've got really cold butter. It's 3 sticks of butter, it's 3/4 of a pound. I'm gonna put it in and just let the mixer do its thing until the butter is about the size of peas. So next I need 4 eggs and a cup of heavy cream. I didn't say they were low calorie, I just said they were delicious. And I'm just gonna whisk the eggs and the cream together. So as soon as the flour is just the right consistency, where you can see the butter is just in little bits, then I'm gonna add the wet ingredients. Just put them in slowly. It's going to be really wet, but that's what makes really good scones. Okay, next are the chocolate and pecans. So I've got 1.5 cups of medium diced bittersweet chocolate and 1 cup of chopped pecans. I'm just going to toss them together. And to make sure they get well distributed, I'm going to put in 3 tablespoons of flour. Just to coats them a little bit. And make sure they get distributed in the dough. Okay, here goes. So I'm going to turn this on low and then just slowly add it in. Okay, now comes the fun part. I'll dump out the dough onto a very well-floured board and knead it a few times to be sure the chocolate and pecans are well distributed, adding a little flour so the dough doesn't stick to the board. Then I'll roll out the dough 1 inch thick with a floured rolling pin. Dip a 3-inch cutter in flour, cut out the scones, and place them on 2 parchment-lined sheet pans. Okay, I'm just gonna egg wash the scones now. So I've mixed 1 egg with 2 tablespoons of water. So that's the egg wash. And then just a little bit of sugar on the top. Just to give it a little sweet crunch, as though they're not sweet enough. I'll bake the scones at 400 degrees for 10 minutes. Then switch the pans around so they cook evenly and bake them for another 10 minutes. When the tops are lightly browned and the insides are fully baked, I'll take them out and put them on a platter. Ta-da! Gorgeous scones. These look amazing. So I'm starting with a pint of heirloom cherry tomatoes, and I'm cutting them in half, and I just cut them through the stem. The heirloom tomatoes, because the seeds have been handed down from generation to generation, and they have incredible colors and flavors. You can actually grow these yourself. Just get heirloom tomato seeds. You can grow them in the ground or in pots. So easy. So that's the tomatoes. So next is the burrata. And what burrata is, it's mozzarella with a very soft center. I'll show you when I cut it. And this is enough for 2. It always comes in water to stay moist. And I'm going to cut it in half, and you'll see the center is really creamy. And what I do is put the creamy side down on the plate, just like that. You're not going to believe how easy this dish is to make. And then I'm going to put the tomatoes right around. It'll look gorgeous. It's going to be delicious. It's a really nice lunch or a first course before dinner. Look how pretty this looks. Okay, I'm going to drizzle it with olive oil. Don't even need to make a vinaigrette. Just do it right on the plate. Sprinkle it with sea salt. I use sea salt like a finishing salt. Fleur de sel, a little pepper. And some basil, because of course you have to have basil with tomatoes and mozzarella. I mean, sometimes you can even just take small basil leaves and put them right on, or tear them. But I think it looks pretty also to chiffonade them. So that's what I'm gonna do. This is a real summer dish. You don't want to turn on the stove. You've got something on the grill. The perfect first course. A little basil around. And then the last ingredient's really important. It's really good syrupy balsamic vinegar. And I'm just gonna drizzle it right over the top. It's sweet, it's acidic, it's everything you could possibly want in a tomato, mozzarella, and basil salad. So I've boiled corn for about 3 minutes until it's just not starchy. And the way you can tell is just to take a little kernel off and taste it. So you still have the fresh corn flavor. And it's perfect, they're crisp, but they're cooked all the way through. And I'm gonna put them in ice water. It's called shocking them. This is gonna be so good with my all-American grill of hamburgers. And instead of hot dogs, I'm gonna do turkey sausages and homemade coleslaw and a surprise for dessert. Okay, so that's nice and cold. You know, putting it in ice water actually stops the cooking, but what else it does is it keeps the bright yellow color, and we want it to look gorgeous. Take the little end off right there and just stand it up in its rear end, and then run your knife all the way down the cob, and the kernels just come off beautifully like that. When the corn's fresh in East Hampton, I feel like I want to eat it every day. It's actually surprising how much corn you get from the kernels, isn't it? Okay, 5 corn right into the bowl. And then I'm just going to add a few ingredients that will really give it all of its fresh corn flavor. So the first thing I'm going to add is a little red onion. One of the tricks for cutting an onion is to leave one end on, and then it keeps the whole thing together when you're cutting it. So I'll show you how this works. So slice it this way. Keep your fingers out of the way. And this way the whole thing stays together when you're dicing it. So I need about ½ cup of red onion, which is 1 small red onion. Okay, that's done. All right, a little bit of cider vinegar and olive oil. I think the cider vinegar is really wonderful. It's sort of sweet, and it enhances the fresh corn flavor. 3 tablespoons of each. Olive oil, good olive oil. Salt and pepper, always good salt and pepper. And then the last ingredient is fresh basil. I just think corn and basil go really well together, so I put them together. So this is a really great little trick, how to julienne basil leaves, is you just stack them up one on top of the other, and then roll them up like a tight cigar. And then take your knife and just do really thin slices. And you end up with really gorgeous julienne, or sometimes called chiffonade. Okay, just like that. Toss it up. It's so fresh tasting. Perfect. Now, how easy was that? So I've got Greek lamb with tzatziki. I thought, Greek salad. This I can make in my sleep. So first the vinaigrette. ½ cup of olive oil. That should be about right. 1/4 cup of red wine vinegar. I always like to use a good red wine vinegar. Just smell it. You'll know if it's good. ½ teaspoon of good Dijon mustard. One teaspoon of oregano. You know, usually I use fresh herbs, but in the case of oregano, I think it's really strong. So what I do is I take dried oregano and then just crush it between my hands, and it really releases the oils in it. It's one of the few herbs I think is actually too strong fresh. Oregano, teaspoon of salt, ½ teaspoon of pepper, and of course garlic. I've got 2 cloves of garlic, minced. Just whisk it all together. Okay, that's good. Next, the vegetables. First thing is 1 hothouse cucumber, then just cut the cucumber in big, thick slices. Next, 1 red pepper, large diced, and 1 yellow pepper, large diced. I think they taste so much better than green peppers. Okay, next, tomatoes. I'm just gonna cut each tomato in half. And just toss it right in. In Greece, they usually chop large tomatoes into chunks, but I like to use a box of really good cherry tomatoes. Just cut them in half. They're so sweet and intensely flavorful. Okay, that's the tomatoes. Next is red onion. I actually use red onion because I think it's a little sweeter than yellow onion. ½ cup of Kalamata olives. They're Greek olives, and of course, a Greek salad demands Greek olives. They're already pitted. And next, the vinaigrette. Just toss it all together. Just pour on enough so that the whole salad is moistened. That's about the whole thing. That should be it. Just give it a big toss. All these gorgeous vegetables. It's going to taste so good. And the last thing I'm going to put in is feta. Obviously, classic Greek ingredient, but I don't want to mix it too much because then it'll get crumbled. So I'm going to do big chunks of feta. For salad like this, I like to try and cut all the pieces in about the same sizes. I just think it gives it a really nice look. So it's about 2 cups of feta. It doesn't get any more delicious, and it's great for a big party.